Hi everybody, how are you doing? This is Nisa with Nisa's Variety Show. And today we are going to have something so delicious that you are not going to believe your taste buds. I mean, just delicious from the South, honey. Just marvelous. Okay, so the first thing, I have my gloves on, as you can see, because we're going to be messing with this corn over here and it still has some husk on it. So I don't want to, get it all over my hands. Anyhow, I have my roaster pan here on the stove. I've already filled it about 70% up with water. And for those of you who have already been watching my videos, you know that I live in the desert, so I have used some purified water out of my machine over there. Now, the first thing we need to do, this is my recipe for my grandmother's cream corn on the cob. And I've never given this recipe to anyone, but I've had people that eat this corn and say, "Ooh, this is so good. Nisa, what did you do to this corn?" And it just pops in your mouth like, what did you do? How did you make this? And this is such a simple recipe and so easy to make. And you're gonna question yourself once again, why did I never think of these simple ingredients in making boiled corn on the cob? But this is cream boiled corn on the cob. Okay, so let's get it started. The first thing we're gonna do, I actually got this corn from the store, and so I'm going to open it. I'm gonna come over to the sink, which is over here. And I might need to turn slightly. And I'm just gonna put these husks right into the sink. And of course, we wanna rinse off our piece of corn there. And see how good it looks. I'll throw it over into a pot. And we actually have 4 pieces here. And it's just me and my secret taste tester, so I don't have to cook a whole lot. I do have some friends and some visitors eventually I will be having on this show, but not today. But my secret taste tester is here, so we will be having my secret taste tester trying out my grandmother's cream corn on the cob. But of course, this secret taste tester has been eating this her entire life. So she knows what it tastes like. And actually, she requested this for her dinner. So I have some chicken baking in the oven. But I'm having chicken and she's having something else that she's cooking for herself. And we're also going to have mashed potatoes. I have a few recipes for mashed potatoes, but today it'll just be regular mashed potatoes. So I'm not going to do a show on any of that today. Just going to do my grandmother's cream corn on the cob recipe. Now this is actually a recipe that didn't get stolen by anybody. So you guys are gonna be the third ones to get this recipe after my grandmother and me. So let's get it going here. Get all this husk off and make sure it's good and cleaned off there. This is gonna be so simple. Super simple. Okay, so we got our 4 pieces of corn in the water that are about 70%. And also this pot that I'm using is a roaster pot. And so I actually love to use it because it emits a different taste when you cook in this pot. You can use this pot on top of the stove, and you can also use it inside your oven. And I've used it both ways, and it's pretty good. Either way you use it. I've roasted whole chickens in it, and I've made other things in it, and hey, it's pretty delicious. Also, you guys, don't forget to like and share and subscribe. And also, look at my jewelry, my necklace, my earrings. Aren't those cute? Yes, and you can get them on my website. This is my lucky rabbit's bracelet that I made myself for 2023, the year of the rabbit. And here's some of my bracelets. So you guys go down under the subscription and you'll see where you can go to my Mercari website and go on there and look for some of my jewelry. You may find something that you really like. Okay, now back to the cream corn on the cob. This is gonna be so simple, so simple. Okay, now, first thing we're gonna do is turn the stove on. And my stove has high, medium, low, and it also has numbers. So I'm gonna put it in between the 6 and the 7, which is a good medium. My next step is I'm gonna take the salt and I'm just gonna put probably about a half a teaspoon, I would say. Now, here comes the how you make it cream corn on the cob. Milk. You can use, I use whole milk a lot, but I've used, skim milk, 0.5%. I've used different kinds, sweet Aphrodophilas. I've never used almond milk or oat milk or anything like that because I've never tried it for this recipe, but I just use whole milk or milk that's equivalent to cow's milk. So take this milk, you have about 4 pieces of corn, and you have about 70% water, and you're just gonna pour some milk in here. You're gonna put about at least a 1/4 cup of milk. And then one thing I haven't said to you guys is that I always use real butter. I never, ever use margarine. And the reason being is because I learned back about 25 years ago that our bodies can't digest margarine. I learned that through going through a dietitian class. And so I stopped using margarine at that moment. So when you eat margarine, it goes in, it never comes out. So where does it stay? And then I watched a show on television. So I believe since it's already been talked about on a show called How It's Made, and it talked about how margarine was made. And on that show it said that margarine was initially made to fatten up pigs, and that pigs wouldn't eat it. So that's saying a lot. So they added a packet of yellow food coloring, and the people who bought the margarine would because it was so much cheaper, people would buy it. It's substituted for butter, and they would buy it, and they would have to put the yellow food coloring in it and use it in the place of butter. Well, if a pig won't eat something, that should tell you something. But I'm not telling you not to eat margarine. I'm not telling you not to buy margarine. It's up to you. It's not up to me. But I only use real butter, and I have for years. I've only used real butter for about the last 25 years, and so it's up to you. But I think real butter tastes better, and I know that my body can digest it, so that's what I'll eat. So, when using butter, I have about 4 pieces of corn. I cut off about this much butter. It's about 1/4 of this stick. I'm just gonna put it in there. And I would say let this cook for about a good 40 minutes, and you will have my grandmother's cream corn on a cob. And it's going to be the most delicious piece of corn on the cob you ever had. So this video is not going to be that long because it's just that simple. Milk, corn, and butter. Similar to making fried corn, except you don't take the corn off the husk. You just leave it on there, and you boil it, and then you take it to the cookout, and everybody's wondering how you made that corn. But now you guys know. My mother's mother, who was a savory cook, this is her recipe. Cream corn on the cob, everyone. So I'll tell you what, we'll be back, and when we come back, we will be trying out this cream corn on the cob. Hey fam, I just came back for just a minute. I wanted to kind of show you what your corn should be looking like while it's still cooking. So hey, let's take a look here. Come over and bring this a little bit closer. And as you can see, it's bubbling up. The butter's in there, the milk's in there. It's doing its own thing, and before you know it, it's gonna be tasting really, really, really tasty. And sometimes I like to take my spoon and just kind of, get that butter all around in there, and it's just like it's bubbling in a milk bath there. And so it's getting all those flavors in there, and we're gonna real soon have some good bites of it to find out what it tastes like. and you're gonna be like, yummy, yummy, yummy. So, okay, we'll be back soon, and I'll see you guys then, okay? All right, bye-bye. Hey, everybody, I'm back. How are you doing? Yes, this is Nisa with Nisa's Variety Show. And Nisa's cute earrings and bracelets. Don't forget, you can buy these items. Right now, I don't have all my items on my Mercari site, but I will be uploading a whole lot of new items. I really worked on it. So hopefully I'll be putting all my new stuff on there, but I do have a lot of great stuff on there right now. So please go on there and look, and you guys see something you like, go ahead and get it. All right, I have a lot of Disney clothes on there too, if you like Walt Disney. So pick out something cute, and if you're going to Disney World before school gets back in, you're taking the kids, you can get those shirts and stuff for a whole lot cheaper than you can if you're at Disney World. So go ahead and buy one. Pretty soon I'll be having a lot more of those items in too. So go ahead, take a look. Well, we're back to my grandmother's cream corn on the cob, and it's done, and it's quite delicious in the pan. But I also have some baked chicken in the oven that I made, and now I'm going to make some mashed potatoes. Now I'm just going to make these from the pack, but making them from the pack, I like to doctor them up a little bit. And what I do is, with this pack that I buy from the grocery store, it takes 2 cups of water, but I usually put 1.5 cups of water. And then I put 1/2 cup of milk. And like I said before about the corn, you don't have to use whole milk. You can use any type of dairy milk that you see fit. Now, I have not tried this with almond milk, and I have not tried it with oat milk or any of that kind of stuff. But a lot of recipes that I have come up with that belongs to me and me only, and not my grandmother's, that's the way that I came up with them, because I don't really eat beef anymore, and I don't eat pork anymore. So I changed a lot of their recipes that you make with beef and pork. And so I switched them over for chicken and turkey. And so I had to experiment, and that's what you do. So you can try anything. Now I'm gonna give this 1/2 cup of milk. I am going to measure, because with mashed potatoes, that's important. You don't wanna put too much liquid in. And so I'm gonna stick that in the sink. And you need a pat of butter. So here's our pat of butter. It's going into the mixture there. Oops. We're gonna let that get kind of hot. Come to a little bit of a boil. And then we will put our pack of potatoes in. And while we're doing that, we will turn off this corn, because it's ready. Grandmama's cream corn on the cob. And also, as you guys can see back here, I have this pan, and I bet you can guess, if you've seen some of my other shows, what that is. That's my hummingbird water. Hummingbird water. Yeah, they don't let me forget them, and I don't mind. I love nature, and out here in the desert where I live, the hummingbirds stay year round. They stay here year round, and so I have a couple of hummingbirds that I have named, and one is named after my Uncle Oscar, and that's because he has this really dark purple beard. And my Uncle Oscar was a really dark-skinned man, and so I have named him Uncle Oscar. My Uncle Oscar has passed away. He was a veteran, a Vietnam veteran. He had a Purple Heart. He was a wonderful man, and I sincerely miss him. And kiss to heaven to him. I know he's in heaven. His heart was in the right place. And I have named the other hummingbird Aunt Leola, which, hello Aunt Leola, she's still living, and she lives in the South. Woo. See, don't let that happen, you guys. Alright, so I got that boiling. Now I'm going to kind of turn this eye down to low, and I'm going to open this pack of instant mashed potatoes. Now, as I pour in my pack of instant mashed potatoes, I'm going to stir as I pour them in. Because if you pour them in all at one time, all you get is some really lumpy mashed potatoes. And who likes lumpy mashed potatoes? Not me. And I didn't quite turn the eye off all the way because sorry about that, guys. Turn that fan on just a little bit. Now, I didn't turn the eye off all the way because you do need to let your mashed potatoes cook just a tiny bit more. And once they do, you turn your eye off completely. And it only takes a second. And the reason that I do that is because if you leave your mashed potatoes on too long, they will start to pop out of that pan. And if anybody's ever cooked mashed potatoes and they start to get to boiling, they know it will pop all over you, and it's just as bad as hot grease when you put a piece of fried chicken down in there. So be careful with your mashed potatoes, but they do need a little more blending as you put your mixture into your water and butter mixture. Now, my mashed potatoes, I never add salt to the water, and I use unsalted butter when I make them. Because wherever I can cut out the salt, I usually try my best to cut out the salt. Now what I'm going to do is my secret taste tester is going to come and make their plate so that they can tell you how much they love the cream corn on the cob, and you guys will find out. Hey everybody, we're back, and as you can see, our corn on the cob is all ready, and here's my delicious southern plate of food. Yummy, don't that look good? Looks delicious. Now I have my secret taste testers in the background, and she's going to try her southern cream corn on the cob right now and let us know what she thinks about it.
That's mighty tasty.
She's done took about 5 or 6 bites before she said anything. I think it's pretty darn good. How about I'll take a bite of mine? Hey you guys, I'm not in my regular space yet, and a lot of my stuff is in storage, so I don't have my corn holders. So I have to do it the old-fashioned way and pick it up like this. I see why you had to keep taking a bite. That's so good. I'll tell you, you guys will not want to put that piece of corn down. Once you start eating it, it is delicious. And with that, I have to say goodbye, and I hope you guys love your southern cream corn on the cob. Mwah.